Hey guys, I wish I could be with you there today, but I am, well, right now I'm in New Jersey, but when you watch this video, I will be in Illinois. My grandfather passed away this weekend, so I'm heading home for the funeral, and that's why I'm not there with you today. However, Reverend Dawn does have some good stuff that I sent her, and right now I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about what I'm thinking can be added to our music ministry this semester. Um, so we know that Wednesday nights are dedicated to choir, and that is a very awesome thing to witness if you have yet to be able to be a part of that. But I want to add something to it for Wednesday nights. We are getting to the point where we're starting to learn music very quickly, and I'm unable to keep track of everything that we've learned. And I'd like to create a spot for a secretary or a librarian, perhaps, is a better word since we're in an academic setting. Although there are secretaries in academia, are there not? There are. Anyway, so a librarian would be someone who would not have to give that much of a time commitment. They would be the person that would have a PDF of all of our repertoire, so that we can easily access it and be able to be like, oh yeah, we know that song, we learned it then, and maybe we'll be able to perform a concert. This list can be, kept on somebody's computer. It can be kept on paper in a journal. As long as everyone has access to it and can see what we have all worked on Wednesday nights throughout the years. I would, of course, give you the list that I have, and if anyone else has songs that we've done or songs that they would like to do, we can add those to the library. Now, the library wouldn't necessarily consist of scores, but it could consist of, title and composer, or arranger or whomever. Uh, and as long as we have PDF files of the text to each song, which is primarily what we use anyway, that would be probably another thing that the librarian would keep track of. I'm primarily talking about the choir. So since we have been getting a little bit bigger, uh, we are starting to notice that we're able to do more with our voices as an ensemble. We're still pretty stuck in the unison phase of things, but we can sing in canon on occasion. Um, I would like to maybe involve some composition majors. Note that the compositions couldn't be so complex that the guys A couldn't read it and B couldn't quite grasp the tonality of it. So we're looking for things that are basic compositions. So say you have a text or a poem that you've written and you're not a composer yourself, but you think you want to give it a try, this group will be the group that will be able to take your music and run with it, as long as it's simple. So we've got the librarian and we've got maybe a resident composer for ACW. I would also like to, let's see, help our guys learn how to compose. So, if you are a poetry writer and maybe you want to share some of the poetry with us that hasn't been set to music, maybe some of our guys can come up with something. And we have been surprised before. Not, it wouldn't be notated as we see in our Western world in, Westminster. It would be something that they have written and remembered and felt, and we would learn it by rote, and there would probably never be written music of it until one of us was able to perhaps dictate what we are singing. Um, there was another thing that I wanted to say about Wednesday nights. Oh, Wednesday nights, if we can possibly, every Wednesday night we'll go. Reverend Dawn can fill you in on that in a minute, if you would. That'd be great. We leave from Westminster at like 6:20ish. I think Michelle gets done with bells around then, and no later than 6:20. And we get to Ryder about 6:30, 6:40. Then we get in Reverend Dawn's van and make our way to Albert C. Wagner to the prison, and we're there from about 7 to about 8:30 on Wednesday nights. And I was also hoping, and we'll get back to Westminster about 9. But during that hour and a half, there's a lot that goes on. And as future educators, we are, we're told to lesson plan and we're told to do this and we're told to do that. But the one thing that I think is really important, besides planning what you're going to do, but as you all know from experience with this ensemble, anything that you plan is going to change, even with any other ensemble that you ever will direct. Everything that you plan, be prepared for it to be different than you planned. But the other thing that I was saying is part of that planning is reflecting. And in that, I would like everyone who goes on Wednesday nights, and if you guys want to keep track on Thursday nights too, that'd be great. But I'm going to require that each student that helps me out this semester will begin keeping a journal. If possible, I would like for it to be electronic so that I can have a copy of it every week. I have a complete year's worth of journals from last year from me that I've kept, and actually most of it has been turned into a publication in the Music Educators Journal that I wrote with Dr. Abrahams and Casey Kohler. So that's what I'm looking for you. I will not take any of your work and try to make it my own. I simply want to know what you reflect on and what things are important that you see going through lesson plans on a weekly basis, and how to make them better adaptable to you and to the guys. Just basic reflections of your teaching experience, or maybe what you've witnessed from my teaching. Don't worry, there are no grades, there are no judgments. I simply want to know what it is that you get out of every week, because I know what I get out of it, and I'd like to share. I would like to begin sharing more of our feelings about the ministry and where we can go, and maybe one lesson someday will turn into a concert, or maybe we'll have incoming concerts, incoming students that want to see what it's like on a daily basis or on a weekly basis with these men. So reflecting is a very important part of any teaching experience, and I think that the more we reflect and actually put it down on paper rather than just, oh yeah, this went really well, just write it down, write a few, little things about it, write what you did, tell me what your lesson plan was, or perhaps you didn't have one, you just kind of were like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do, see how things go. But I would like for those to be submitted by the Friday after the Wednesday each week. So you got 2 days to write yourself a reflection. But other than that, the Thursday group, you guys can go ahead and talk about what it is that you do, and perhaps what you are looking for to add to it. I know that I was thinking of maybe, if we were to give you guys what we work with on a weekly basis, like in our rehearsals, and you guys could take it and hammer out what theoretically everything is doing. For instance, just for learning how to read notes, that would be something that would be very, very beneficial to both groups, because they would be learning how to read the music in the Thursday night group, and on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening the following week they would be like, oh yeah, we know what this is, and then they would rock with it, and it would be awesome. I will also be sharing with you a sample copy of a journal of a reflection that I have written, or what your reflections could look like. I really don't want to put all this pressure on your reflections. I want them to be your own, and but I also want you to have an example. Just so you're not going in completely blind writing about the prison guys. So, Reverend Dawn, if you could hand those things out, that'd be awesome. And you guys can go ahead and talk about your Thursday thing. And I really wish I could be there with y'all. But as I said before, I guess family things happen, and timing, it just doesn't matter. So I look forward to going to Albert C. Wagner with you guys, and please feel free to email me or Facebook me and let me know if you're interested in coming, and I hope that we can start on, let's see, I know that we're going to go to the church service on the 18th, so if we could start on that following Wednesday, the 21st, that would be awesome. I'd like to put together a Christmas concert. I know that that's going to be a little hectic with the Music Ed Lab madrigal that's going on, and all the other stuff that happens in our school lives. I'll see you all on the 18th, on Sunday morning, whoever shows up. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm sure you guys will fill me in. And then the 21st, Michelle, unless there's other people involved, I'll meet you outside the library, and we will go from there. Have a successful first week of classes, and I will see you next week.